Hi everyone, welcome back to Gastronomy Games. Today we are making chimichurri steak tacos with pickled red onions and chipotle honey crema. This recipe is a great recap of some skills we've already gone over, as well as some new skills to add to your arsenal. All of the components of this dish are incredibly versatile, making it a great watch even if you aren't looking to make steak tacos. So without any further ado, let's get to the kitchen. We are going to start by toasting our spices for our chimichurri. In a pan set on medium heat, toast 1 teaspoon each of coriander and cumin seeds, and 1/3 of a teaspoon of grains of paradise, just until you can smell the spices. This will take about 2 minutes. We're going to just keep the pan moving to avoid burning our spices. You can also toast your spices in a 325 degree oven on a baking sheet, but you do run the risk of accidentally burning them. Grains of paradise are very floral with almost a ginger-like spiciness, adding a great finish to our chimichurri. If you can't find them though, the recipe will still work great without them. We are just going to blend all of our ingredients together until smooth. This is one of my favorite summer recipes. It works great as a marinade for almost any grilled protein or mushrooms, and also makes a great sauce for meat, eggs, or sweet potato fries. If you are worried about the uncooked red wine, it can be omitted, but it does provide depth and a bit of sweetness to your chimichurri. We are then going to marinate our flank steak for at least 6 hours. Just make sure as much air is out of the bag as possible to allow the marinade to penetrate the meat. Next, we are making our pickling brine for our red onions. This is slightly different pickling liquid than our pickled cucumbers or pickled jalapeno, because we want a bit more acidity to combat the sharpness of the onions. This means we're upping the ratio of vinegar to water and the sugar in our brine. We're also slanting our aromatics slightly more Caribbean by adding in coriander seeds and grains of paradise. Bring this mix to a boil while we cut our onions. We're going to realign our knife edge using our steel before cutting our onions to medium thin thickness. Take the root end of the onions out on an angle so that the slices separate. Then turn the onion and let the natural lines on the onions guide you for how thick to cut. Make sure you cut with these natural lines, not against them. If you were to cut against them, you will damage the cell structure, leading to your onions having less flavor and making you cry. Once the onions start to become precarious, flip it to its flat side and continue following the lines. For more information about knife skills and knives, make sure you check out our knife skill video linked below. Place your sliced onions in a clean glass jar. Once your pickling liquid comes to a simmer and all your sugar is dissolved, cover the onions completely with your brine. Let your onions and pickling brine cool to room temperature with the lid off of your jar, and then cover and refrigerate. As previously stated, this pickling recipe will work for any vegetables you choose. However, this is a more acidic brine than our standard one, just because of the astringency of the onions. For our normal pickling brine, check out our creme fraiche and pickles video, which will also be linked in the description of this video. Finally, we are going to prep our chipotle honey crema. We're going to start by blending our chipotle peppers to a paste. You can also buy chipotle paste, but it can be a little bit hard to find. Then we are going to mix some of our homemade creme fraiche, which you can learn about in the aforementioned video that will be posted in the description. Added to that will be our chipotle, some lime zest, lime juice, honey, and salt. I don't like to give ratios on this one because everyone's heat and sweet preferences are different. However, if you want to boost lime flavor, think zest first, because you don't want to water down the sauce too much. Now all that's left is to cook our steak and assemble our tacos. We are cooking this on a grill heated to about 400 degrees. When you are cooking steak, it's important to only flip it once to minimize moisture loss. But to get the steakhouse checker pattern, rotate your steak 90 degrees once you get some nice grill marks. I personally like my flank steak rare to medium rare, so I'm just looking to get a nice crust on both sides and waiting for a few droplets of moisture to appear on the outside of the steak, but I'd highly recommend investing in a meat thermometer to make sure your steak is at your preferred doneness every time. We then want to give our steak some time to rest to redistribute the juices they stay in our steak. My general rule of thumb is to rest your steak for about 5 minutes per pound. This flank is about 2 pounds, so we're going to let it hang out for about 10 minutes while we soften our corn tortillas on the grill. Then we're just going to cut our steak against the grain at medium thickness. Never cut your slices with the grain of the steak. Your steak will be much tougher if you do. Time for our big reveal, and our steak is medium rare on the outer edges, rare on the inside, which is where we want it. Be sure to cook to your preferred doneness. However, flank steak does have a tendency to get tough if it's taken much past medium. Then we're just going to assemble our tacos with our 2 sauces, fresh cilantro, a couple lime wedges, and our beautiful steak. I hope you had fun watching this video and learned a little something. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I can't wait to cook with you all again soon.